In this video, I'm going to tell you my story of starting from scratch in Silicon Valley. So you know the typical Silicon Valley success story, right? Well, none of that was me. If you have ever felt like an outsider looking to break into the big tech industry, watch this video first. Hi, I'm Maya and I live in Silicon Valley. This story begins back in February 2019. I remember even the day when I finally made a big decision to restart my career. I am driving my yellow Volkswagen Beetle down from San Francisco to Silicon Valley. I'm driving down this famous 101 freeway through the tech land with all its buzz of success. But I don't feel like I'm part of it. I feel like an outsider to Silicon Valley. And it's not because I came from another country. And not because English is my second language. But the reason is that I'm not in the tech industry. I don't work in a big tech company, and I'm not a founder of a startup. And I don't have any unicorn stock options. Instead, by 12:30, I have to pick up my 2-year-old daughter from daycare. Every day. I only have 3 hours to myself, and it's never enough. Today, I spent half of that time driving to San Francisco to meet a friend. But the conversation was very important to me. It made me realize that I want to change my life and go back to the career I left 5 years ago. I used to be a data analyst. Going back will allow me to feel good about myself again and have self-respect. I know it is my fault for not returning sooner, but I also feel like the system doesn't make it easy for women to have a career and a family at the same time. So here I am, driving down 101, reflecting on a conversation I just had with Julia. We haven't seen each other in a long time, and a lot has changed. We both moved to the United States from Russia about 5 years ago. We had to start over again here. Julia kept working in analytics, but I decided to focus on my family instead and paused my professional life for a while. Now, Julia works for a big tech company in Amsterdam. She leads the web analytics team and works on cool projects. I feel like that's a path I could have taken too if I hadn't stopped working earlier. Anyways, talking to her inspired me and made me realize what I really want. I know that I can return to the big tech and be successful. And while I'm driving, I turn on a voice recorder on my phone. I start dictating an action plan. First, I need to start studying to close a gap in my experience. This excites me because it means I get to do one of my favorite things: self-study. Second, I will talk to Julia and other professional analysts I know in the field. Third, I will go through all the potential interview questions. And fourth, I will create a list of companies that I want to apply to, and the first companies I apply to will be the ones least likely to hire me, just so I can train my interview skills. I'm most excited about the self-study part of the plan, because it means I get to read. This makes me happy because I love reading non-fiction books, as you can see here, and I love learning new things. In fact, reading really helped me get through being a first-time mom. It gave me back a bigger perspective that I often would lose in my daily life. Okay, back to this life-changing car trip. After being down and feeling like an outsider to the big tech world, now I finally have a plan, and I believe I can have my career back. For the next several months, I'm laser focused on studying hard. I want to get back into the technical side of analytics, learn new things and get ready for interviews. But something goes wrong along the way. On a sunny April day, while studying as usual in my favorite cafe, I really surprised myself. After ordering a drink, I open my bag and face a choice. There is a book and a laptop inside. The book means I could learn something new. And the laptop has research about companies I might want to work for, as well as an update to a big spreadsheet of potential interview questions. I don't want to turn on the laptop today, and I have been feeling this way for a while now. And I'm afraid to confess it even to myself. I'm starting to realize that I don't really want to do analytics as a full-time job. It's a scary realization because this is the only way I know how to get back into tech. I continue my research anyways, but now I'm starting to look into different roles, ones that involve a combination of technical, creative, and human interaction components. And then it hits me: product management. Product managers are often the people who help translate between technical and non-technical fields. I read everything I could find about the role and its responsibilities. I also researched courses and certifications that could help me make this transition. It's a new plan, and it might take more time and effort to get into the role, but I'm excited about it. As I was looking at learning programs, I almost signed up for a course at product school, but then I realized that I wouldn't be able to finish it before our summer vacation. We were going on a trip to Europe, and I was in charge of planning it, since my amazing husband was busy 25 hours a day in order to pay for it. I was not happy about postponing my career goals again. And even though I felt a little guilty, I went on vacation anyways. I told myself I would start transitioning to the new field when I come back. But something happens during our trip that completely changes my plans. It happens when we're visiting my parents in Russia. I'm in their apartment in St. Petersburg, settling on my favorite spot beside the round table. This table has seen more years than I have, and I enjoy sitting there with a cup of tea from a warm and familiar ceramic mug that brings me back to childhood. I'm watching as my daughter is playing with her grandparents. When I see my mom and dad have a disagreement over something, they quickly get over it, but I don't. It triggers forgotten feelings inside of me. I'm once again a little girl who is trying to keep the peace in her family. I was trying to make everyone around me happy. I remember how in my childhood I often had a sense of embarrassment because of my family's issues. My dad had problems with alcohol, and we didn't have much money, and we lived in a small apartment that we shared with other people. It sucks. As a little girl, I desperately wanted to fix my family. I thought my achievements would show that our family was normal and that my parents had succeeded in life no matter what. I wanted to make them proud of me. And luckily enough, I succeeded. My parents were and still are proud of me. I always was a no-problem kid, a straight-A student. I graduated with honors from school and then from university. I got a master's degree, I got a good job, I dutifully climbed up the success ladder. But then I moved across the world with my husband, and then we had a child. I had this pause in my career, and after a long maternity leave, I have to start over again. And all I wanted was to climb back up the ladder of success that had been taken away from me. It is when I realized that I have been thinking about my career plans wrongly this whole time. I never stopped to think of what I truly wanted for myself. The only reason why my aspiration was to work for a renowned tech company is because it is seen as an emblem of accomplishment. And when you want to make someone proud, or in general, if you want to make a great impression, you collect accomplishments and success symbols. Does this work? Oh yes, especially in the prestige economy, especially in Silicon Valley. But does it make one happy? Well, it depends on what you want from your life. And before this moment, I never stopped to think of what I truly wanted for myself. I was too busy trying to prove something to someone else. At that moment, at the round table, I realized that it is okay for me to take my own path, whatever that may be. And as a result of that, very soon after, I started my own YouTube channel. I started it in order to share what is interesting, inspiring, and meaningful for me. Stay tuned. It took a lot of soul searching, and it's the topic for my next video, where I will talk more about my career journey. If you're interested to learn more about finding your true path in the Silicon Valley career search, don't forget to subscribe. Hopefully, today's video will be a reminder that we all have permission to define our own version of success and to choose whatever path works best and brings us the most fulfillment. Let me know in comments if something resonates with you, and see you soon.